Some M2C Custom Delrin Pistons here that we are testing on the Xmaxx. I actually already went ahead and installed this in my shock, so I already have it in there. So basically, we're just trying to improve the suspension of this truck and try to find the right dampening for it. And just to improve the overall handling of this truck, I have noticed that this truck is a little bit bouncy, a little bit springy on some of the jumps that I have taken with it. So we are just trying to eliminate some of this bounce, or at least minimize some of those bounce and after bounce that I have experienced with some of the jumps that I have taken. A couple of the guys already did some tests on this. So basically the idea and what we're trying to do is trying to figure out the right size holes on these pistons that will work with the stock shock fluid. And I think we are pretty close to figuring that out. So keep on the lookout for this, guys. So this should be available on the website pretty soon. Alright, so that's another exciting thing, another cool thing to look forward to. Alright guys, we have some M2C prototype extended axles here, and take a look at this. These are very nice looking, beautifully machined axles here, guys. M2C did an awesome job with these axles. I am super excited about these axles because obviously this is going to give your Xmaxx a wider stance, and to be honest, it desperately needed it, having such a narrow stance out of the box. These axles right here will give you about 15 millimeters each side, so you get about 30 millimeters of overall extra width, which is pretty awesome, because that's exactly how wide I want this Xmaxx to be without losing its wild wonkiness that the Xmaxx is known for. Definitely don't want it to be too wide. This is going to make a huge difference, keeping this truck nice and stable instead of rolling over all over the place. So, and just to give this truck a better handling overall. So one of the coolest thing about this extended axles, guys, is that M2C purposely designed this to use a true 24 millimeter hex, which is pretty awesome because this is going to open a whole lot of possibility, giving you the freedom to choose just about any 24 millimeter hex tires out there without having to use any spacers or anything like that, unlike the stock Traxxas Xmaxx hex that they have here, which is pretty limiting, to be honest with you. I can't explain why they went with this except forcing you to use their own tires, which is pretty stupid. So that is why I'm so glad that M2C went and adapt this 24 millimeter hex here on their extended axle. So this is a huge win right here if you ask me. So just keep in mind, guys, that this is still a prototype. That is why I'm using this 24 millimeter hex that I borrowed, that I pulled out from the Crayon 8S. The final product should come with its own 24 millimeter hex. So again, big shout out to M2C Racing, guys, for coming up with something like this, especially for adapting this 24 millimeter hex. So alright, so the next thing I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna show you guys how this thing is set up, how this thing is installed into the truck. So just get right into it. Alright guys, I'm gonna get started and I'll swap to this M2C prototype extended axles here. This should be a pretty easy process. Take out this clip that holds the bearing, and I think I'm gonna unscrew this top bolt here. This old axle should pop right out of the carrier here. So let's get this thing started. Take out the clip. Alright, so we got the bearings out. They're super dirty, so I'm going to clean this up a little bit. There. Clean this up a little bit. And also, guys, while I'm at it, I'm just going to clean this carrier over here. Get it all cleaned up there. We got the new axle here. Let's set this thing up. Alright guys, so we got the bearings in there. Then pop this back in. There we go. And we get this bearing in here. Put the outside bearing in. Alright guys, I got the M2C prototype extended axles all installed in here. It was a very straightforward process. super easy to do, and there was really nothing to it. And this thing looks pretty solid in here, guys. So I'm going to be testing this out pretty soon. So alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and just finish up everything here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit subscribe if you haven't. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.